Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today on Latakin's Noor Kitchen we're gonna make cartoon comic cake. Yes, that's right, these are trending nowadays, and I thought to myself, why I don't make one for my son's birthday? They are not complicated, where no weird equipments are used in here, so if you're comfortable covering the cake with fondant, I think this is the cake for you. I will guide you with everything in a simple step-by-step format. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Well, all you need here is baking and leveling a cake of your choice, or if you don't have time, like me, you can buy a blank cake and decorate it at home. So here are about 2 cakes. One is 3-layered cocoa cake. I bought it from Shock Market here in Turkey, but unfortunately that was the last one, and I wanted to buy 2, so I was obliged to buy another one with a different size. But I thought to myself, like, I can go ahead and cut it with the same size of the cake that I want, and thus we're gonna have about 5 layers, and I think that is enough. That's totally enough for my cake. And of course you can use the layers that you want and the size that you want, but that was my preference for my son's birthday. And what you need to do next is blazon your cake on some baking paper or a cake circle, and then I'm gonna water that with milk. You can water it with a sugar syrup or anything you want. Then you're gonna fill it with a filling of your choice. So I'm gonna fill it with chantilly cream. Little tip here, if you want to add a jam, simply just create a well on the outside, add the jam to the center, and then just allow it to set a little period of time in the fridge before you add your second layer. I filled mine with, like I've said, chantilly cream and chocolate chips, and all you need to do now is repeat it until you reach your final layer of cake, and then completely cover this with the rest of your chantilly cream. You can use buttercream if you want here, that's totally up to you. This process is called chrome coating, and it's simply to give your fondant something to stick to. Now we're gonna go ahead to use a wooden dowel in order for the cake not to fall, and we want to cut it long enough so that's gonna go through the entire cake and through the bottom of the base cake. It's as simple as that. At that point, take it to the fridge while we can go ahead and roll out our fondant. Here you need to roll about 400 grams of white fondant, and try to keep it in a circular shape if you want to cover the whole cake. But I'm gonna cover the circumference only, so I'm gonna cut it in a rectangle shape. It has to be very long to cover the whole cake. Take out the cake from the fridge, put the rectangle on the circumference in this way. It wasn't tall enough, so I rolled out another piece of fondant to cover it totally, and negotiating the please from top to the bottom. Take your time doing this, and then if you have any excess, all you need to do using a knife is cutting that away and smooth it out. Take it again to the fridge while we're gonna go ahead and make a fondant drip stencil. So start by drawing a circle on the same size of your cake. Whatever the size is, take the same size, draw it on the paper so you can have an idea where you need to draw. And then you want to simply draw around in a drip-like shape. Just try to imagine it on top of your cake. Finally, using some fine scissors, simply cut out your baking paper template. It's really as simple and as easy as that, with no cutters required. Then I roll out the color of my choice. My son wanted to be blue, and even though I don't like this color, but after all, this is his birthday, not mine. So anyway, what matters here is using a high quality fondant, so it's gonna be easy for you to cut it down and keep its shape. Try to keep the rolling in a circular shape, and you need to keep on checking that your template fits there. Try to make it thin to a few millimeters, no more, maximum 3, so you want a lovely thin piece of round fondant. Where I'm gonna use water to glue the baking paper directly to the fondant. This is basically to prevent it from moving. It will not affect the fondant in any way, so don't worry. but you need to do this in order to be able to cut it out using a very sharp knife, whatever kind of knife you have. Start cutting away your fondant or modeling based. Be careful to not accidentally cut away any of the baking paper, and don't remove the baking paper once you finish cutting that. This is very important because by leaving the baking paper on it actually helps you transfer it to the cake. So anything you do it by hand like this, don't remove the baking paper. Now our cake is come out directly from the fridge. You simply need to cover the top with water, lift up the baking paper, which helps keep everything in shape before peeling it away. And once that is peeled away, you want simply to negotiate all of those drips down the sides of the cake, get it as even as possible, and now we can turn it into our cartoon comic style cake. It's easy and so much fun. This is super easy. It's just make your cake pop literally. So again, add some edible glue or water, and all we're using here is simple sausage shapes. Now if you have a sugar extruder gun, you'll be able to got those sausage shapes completely identical for the whole of the cake. If not, like me, don't worry, you can roll them out individually. Here I have to stop because I need to place an indentation directly into the center of our freshly covered cake, so you can store that in the fridge without fear of the cake bubbling. This whole process will help any trapped air release naturally as the cake settles. So anyway, let's go back to our sausage. Just take your time placing it on the outer edges of each one of the drips. So simple, but at the same time, so effective. And then once all of our drips have been covered, and the base too, now to really make these bob out, we need to add the lines. Imagine it's a drawing on either side of the cake. So simply add a sausage shape on the left and one on the right. Then repeat the same on the top, but you need to use separate pieces where you can leave gaps in between, because I'm treating this like a drawing, you know. All you need to do then adding the sausage shape around the drips. My cake is back into the fridge, and now is the time for the cherries and the creams. They are super easy to make, don't worry. All you need to do now is making 2 bowls of white fondant or the color of your choice. Here my white fondant finished, so I used the blue one and put them on top of each other, and on top of them simply make and glue a small bowl of red fondant. And again, the glue can be water, only water. Here we need to transfer that to the top of our cake, so this is what brings it to life. So again, with the sausage shapes, we start with the base, and above of the white balls meet you want another sausage shape, and directly underneath your red cherry, another one. Last but not least, just over the top of the cherry, that will be facing the front of the cake, and final sausage shape. I'm gonna place number 4 candle now in the middle as my son is turning 4, and then you can add any decoration of your prefer. So here I chose to add happy birthday, which is written in Turkish. I really started to feel at that moment a great sense of accomplishment, because everything I had exerted so much extra efforts and invested so much time, I got to experience what it was really like to make a cartoon comic cake, and I decided this had been all worth it. So I was really happy with how this came out, and stay tuned for the party preparations video that's coming next. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you liked my video, please make sure to subscribe, like, follow and share so you can help me get more people to reach Latakian's Nor Kitchen. See you later!